Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're doing a little audio processing experiment with the Moog Labyrinth and the MPC Live 2. I picked the MPC Live 2 because it has multiple outputs beyond the left-right. So I can actually use the output 3 to go directly into the Labyrinth and then take the Labyrinth output and go directly into the input on the MPC Live 2. Disclaimer, Moog did send me the Labyrinth a few months ago to review, and I did a review on that. So if you want to check out that video, link below. But this MPC Live 2 is my own, bought it myself, basically when it first came out, and the battery's dead on it. So fun fact, the battery died. Anyways, the reason why I chose the MPC Live 2 for this setup is because it has multiple outputs beyond the left-right, and I need that to be able to process things that are coming out of the MPC Live 2. I actually tried this with the MPC Key 37, and my audio interface that I was using was throwing clicks and pops and just wasn't very usable, so I just grabbed the Live 2 to get this going. So what I have here is just a drum synth plugin, and it sounds like this. So I just made this quick electronic type of beat. BPM's 120. I have the MIDI cable going out directly into the Labyrinth. And I can't remember which type of TRS this is. Obviously, if you use the wrong TRS cable, it will not work for sending clock information. So keep that in mind. If you hook up a MIDI cable and go directly to the Labyrinth and it's not working, it's because you have the wrong TRS cable. You do also have to have the sync working on the output ports right here. And you also need to send MIDI clock as well. So there's some pitfalls that could happen to some people just trying this out real quick. And you'll see upon play, the sequencer kicks off on the Labyrinth. You'll see MIDI information right there. So let's send this out to output 3-4. Now it's being processed by the Labyrinth. So what's cool is the actual sequencer and the EG1 amounts right here and the sequence 1 and sequence 2 amounts are all affecting the actual modulation that's happening right there. So it turns a relatively static drum loop into something more interesting like this. Obviously more dirty because of the wave folder. Also, I'm patching it directly into the wave folder, so I should have mentioned that, but you also might be wondering how I'm monitoring it. I actually just have the sampler set to in on input 1. So that's literally the only thing I'm doing to monitor this. Now you might be wondering, how do I actually record something like that into the MPC to make it usable, right? So in this particular setup, I could go over to an audio track. Obviously, this is MPC 2 software. This is not the new MPC 3 software. This technique changes a little bit, but the idea is still the same. I will call this drum loop. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to double up the sequence length a few times. So we have 16 bars now. So I have that drum loop repeating 16 bars worth. So this way I can actually record 16 bars worth of variation in this drum loop and kind of work with it from there. I could do this in the looper as well, and it does max out at 16 bars, but let's say I wanted to do 32 bars or more, then you'd have to do it in the audio track to begin with. Input, I want to make sure is just input 1, like so. And let's do this. Go edit audio, and we have our drum piece right there. Now, I don't want it to actually play in the audio track, so I'm just going to delete this. So we'll go cut, because we basically just wanted to use the audio track to get the sample. I'm going to go over track 9. It's already set up to this program 1 for a drum, and we will go into the program edit. We'll go sample, then we will turn this to this loop, which is great. We're going to hit warp and keep the BPM sync on. We're going to put this at 120, just in case we want to change the tempo. Now what we could do is just set up a trigger, like so. And then it will play like 16 bars if we wanted that. And it should technically be right on the start point, which means it's going to be in sync with the timing right here. Another thing though that we could do is just chop up the sample. So could go over to trim and then chop, and then we could say regions 16 bars. Now it's busted up into 16 equal measures. It's a bit aggressive, but it's got a cool experimental feel to it right now. I'm gonna roll the sequence back to 4 bars. I'm gonna take this a step further and play some other samples with it, like some kind of soul acoustic samples. Stuff like this, so let's try this real quick. Let's go back to the plugins. I'm gonna make a new plugin track. And this is going to be the old mini D, because we're gonna get the mini thump. Go edit instrument, get rid of the delay, get rid of the chorus. Let's see. Brighten up the cutoff. Switch this to notes mode. Go see natural minor. Let's see. That's not the right pitch. Is that E flat or E on the kick? I can actually edit it and find out right now. Oh, it's D. It's tuning to D. Maybe the distortion might be kicking out just a little bit. Let's change the notes to D minor. Oh yeah. There it is. We'll do something basic right now. So we're just gonna double this into 8 measures, and I'm going to get rid of the timing just to have a little bit of humanistic feel. Probably gonna quantize it afterwards, but we'll see. Yeah, that works. I don't think I have Airsoft Clipper activated on here, so I'm just going to use the tube drive. We need to make a pump too. So we'll go Mother Ducker on here, get rid of the auto. Let me see if this kick has the Mother Ducker already. Yes, it does. Mother Ducker. Okay, perfect. I work with multiple MPCs, so not everything's the same. So sometimes I forget which things where. That's working, but I think you could use just a little bit more movement. So we're gonna go air pumper on here and just drop this depth. Just a little bit more, you know? So that's bass. I don't think I want to mess with that any further. What I do want to do is get another plugin, and to further emphasize this whole Labyrinth experience type of thing, I want to use something like the Jura. We'll go grab Jura. Maybe the synth? Could do some sort of improv type of thing. Let's see. Let's just record something. It's kind of working. It's a little vanilla though. But let's see what happens when we throw this thing into the Labyrinth. Clean it up a bit, because it might be a bit too much. That could work, but I think we're going to change it up. We're going to go into an arpeggio instead. So I'm going to go back to editing instrument here. Arp Poly, 80s harp. This might actually be a lot more conducive with what the Labyrinth is doing. Because I don't think we're getting away from the dirt in there, which is cool. I like the dirt, but it's, you know, a little bit goes a long way, like salt. I need to make sure all these notes are basically time corrected. It's actually pretty cool already. Let's kill the reverb delay. Okay, that's 8 measures. We need to record that. So we could either go into the audio track, do 8 measures, or we can go into the looper. You know what, for the sake of demonstration, let's go into looper this time. And we'll say 8 bars, like so. And we want to record just input 1, please. Record. Let's hit play. I didn't like the way that began, so I'm gonna do it one more time. Let's export this. Lab synth ARP. No program. We'll assign it ourselves. Back to the MIDI. We're going to mute this Jura for now. Go to track 10 for this one. We're going to make a brand new drum program because we want to process it alone. We don't want anything else on there. Samples for this first one. Lab synth ARP. We need to give it some love. First thing, let's give it a little air vintage filter. Also going to put a trigger right here. Okay, so we can solo this, play it. Actually already did a pretty good job of softening that. Yeah, it's still got some bite, but feels a bit more in place. Air Delay Pro. That sounds pretty cool already. I'm gonna put the Mother Ducker on there just to give it a bit of pumping. Finally, we're gonna try Air Flavor Pro just to see. That sounds pretty cool to me. Anyways, I just want to show really quick how the Labyrinth can actually be more than just a synth generative sequencer type of thing. I mean, obviously it's great at that, and I really like that aspect, but the wave folding on here sounds really awesome. It has a really organic wave folding type of feel to it that I've noticed. Other wave folders can be a bit harsh, which sometimes that's what you want. And obviously this can still get very harsh, but as like an audio processor, sending stuff through it and then having this sequencer kind of give it randomization of how the CV amounts hit with like wave folding cutoff and also the sequence amount and the envelope decays right here. Pretty cool, honestly. And it just so happened to use the MPC Live 2 with this. You could obviously use this with any setup where you basically get an input out and an input in for whatever audio you want to process. So on that note, if you are planning on picking up any gear and want to support the channel beyond a like and subscribe, consider using my affiliate links below because it directly supports the channel. So if you're going to pick up a Labyrinth or an MPC Live, any audio gear, etc., it helps out. So thank you very much if you do that. And thanks for making it to the end as well. I appreciate it. That's it. I'll see you next time for another one. Peace.